Hi everybody, welcome in. Thank you for joining me today. I decided to come in and do a video in regards to students learning at home with just a few quick tips on what can help your child be a more successful student if they are learning at home, online learners. As a teacher of 28 years, I know it's been very difficult. I feel for the teachers, for the students, for the administrators, for the parents, everybody involved. It's been a very different structure in education for a lot of children, and no one is doing the same thing, which I think is also a bit convoluted. There's some kids in school, some kids out of school, some kids are online in the classroom. And I speak from experience, having been one of those teachers. I have since retired and really feeling like I can help more outside of the building than inside the building these days. So as an old school teacher, like I said, I've taught for 28 years. I started with blackboards and chalk when I started teaching, which moved on up the line to whiteboards, overhead projectors, Elmos, right, and smart boards. So what I am finding and what I am hearing right now is that there is a multitude of children struggling. And it's the basics. It's not really in depth sometimes when it comes to subject area content. It's the basics of just how to navigate through that day. So what I am doing is, since I have been retired in October, I have taken on some tutoring, one-on-one tutoring sessions with students needing help, and my plate has gotten so full. The request for me as a tutor with some of the kids, I'm booked up. And I'm still getting requests for more tutoring sessions, and I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to put them in my week. So what I think I've decided to do, I am going to start creating some content online. And in regards, first of all, I'm going to start with study skills because I'm seeing that as an overall problem for 90% of the students that are struggling right now, whether they're in this classroom or outside. The other problem that I'm encountering are test and quiz scores. So I'm going to create some content on how to be a better test taker or quiz taker. And these are actually strategies that will work. Now this content is geared for 6th through 12th grade. You can take this on into college as well. But basically it's for 6th through 12th graders. So this is just kind of a preview of what's to come. I am going to ask you to please like, share, and subscribe to the channel because as for now, I will be placing all of my content on this channel. I am actually taking a course myself right now on how to create an online course. And I want it to be something that has quality behind it, but I just don't want a bunch of fluff. I want actually effective tools to engage the student, and I want the child to be able to see immediate results. That's my end. That's the outcome of what I want to do. So if you do subscribe to the channel, you will get alerts on when some of these things are going to be posted. Okay? All right, so what I'm going to talk today about, and this is just a very quick intro. If you have a child that's learning from home, there are 8 study habits for a highly effective learner. And like I said, this is geared grades 6 through 12. Now, I will tell you, I'm low tech. I am not a high-tech teacher. I've got lots of information. I've got lots of strategies. My skill set is pretty large. I taught students with learning disabilities. I've taught students with behavioral disorders. I have a PhD in educational philosophy. I have a master's degree in special education and a bachelor's degree in elementary education. So it's a pretty wide range, and in my career, it would take me a good hour to tell you all of the positions I've held and the different facets of education I've been involved in. So I want to offer up as much of my expertise as possible, but I don't want to take up a lot of time doing it, and it doesn't have to. So here are 8 steps in a more highly effective student at home. You can rewind the video and you can rewatch it. I would write these down somewhere so you have them, and go over these with your child. Number 1 is a schedule. And I suggest that be on a whiteboard. Your child needs to be able to see this hanging in his or her bedroom every day. Okay? Why is this important? You need to set a schedule. If they were in school, in a brick and mortar school, there is a routine that occurs throughout every day. The same time, every single day, something occurs. This should be reflected in the home as well. So set a routine. Set an alarm the same time each morning so that your child gets up, eats a good breakfast, gets to the online classes. You've got those all scheduled out. So if language arts is at 8, math is at 10, if they have a break at 11, whatever that schedule is, needs to be written on this whiteboard. Also set a bedtime. It should be the same time every night. Some of the kids, so I'm hearing, are not having regular bedtimes. Some of them are staying up much later than they would if they were on a regular school day. Parents aren't enforcing the bedtime. Some children are missing classes because they oversleep in the morning. So a schedule is number 1, and it is crucial. And your child should be able to see it. It should not be you walking behind your child every day telling them, okay, you've got this to do, that to do. Or if you're working, you shouldn't have to call home and remind your child, don't forget you have science at 1 o'clock today. That schedule should be on a whiteboard, easily accessible to them every day. Okay, so that's definitely going to help. All right? Make sure all of the times are set with each class. If they have a scheduled break, scheduled specials, scheduled lunchtime, whatever it is, should be on this whiteboard. Okay? In their bedrooms, I would say, or wherever their study space is. Number 2 is to study. Pick one location that is consistent. And when I say study, I'm talking about if there's assignments due from class, if there is homework, if there is a test coming up, pick one location. Make it consistent. Don't sit in the kitchen one day, the living room the next day, the bedroom the next day, the dining room the 4th day. You should have a place set up for your child to do the studying, to do the classwork. Whether it's a desk in their bedroom, if you have a spare room that you want to set up as their learning environment, but it must be consistent. That's even the way the brain's wired. A child's not going to learn if they're taking math in the living room one day and then they're sitting at the kitchen counter for math the next day. Okay? Number 2 is when. Some time. Okay? Same time daily, set a time, engage a study buddy. This is especially for, the middle school and high school kids. Often they like a study buddy. Now, I'm not saying a play pal, someone that's going to get you off task or, engage you in a video game. That's not what it's about. Someone that you can, as a child, as a student, depend on for support in your study routines, especially if you are at home. There are study halls in school where the kids can get together and they can share notes or help each other write a paper or whatever it is. Okay? And C, study early when you are alert. If you are someone that gets tired after 3 o'clock, or if you wait and you put it off until 8 o'clock at night, an hour before your bedtime, you're not going to retain the information. You are not going to be as on task or alert as you would be if you'd set that time earlier in the day. This study time should be written on your whiteboard schedule. Okay? So if you've got a friend in class that you know is a good student, maybe a stronger writer or stronger reader than you are, engage that student. And if you're in the same class and you've got the same schedule, set aside a time where the two of you can get on the phone or get on a FaceTime or a Zoom and do some work together. That just helps you feel more confident in what you're doing as a student, rather than just, doing it solely and alone. Number 3, this is always important. And in school it happens. We used to have dear times, stop and read, all kinds of times. The teachers would do it as well because good role models are important. So parents, if you're not reading, your child may not be a reader as well. So pick up a magazine, pick up a book, any kind of reading material. I'm not talking about turning on lessons on video or watching television to gain information. I'm talking about reading for pleasure. Picking a good book of interest and reading that book from cover to cover until it's finished. Setting aside, again, on your whiteboard schedule every day, 15 to 30 minutes each day, and make it a consistent time. If you're finished, say at 2 o'clock, and you have nothing between 2 and 3, maybe from 2 to 2:30, that's going to be your pleasure reading time, right? Drop everything and read. That's dear time, and that's what we used to do in school. And that was usually set for 15 minutes, okay? So set a consistent time. It's also research-based that when a student reads 15 to 30 minutes a day, grades go up, okay? It helps learning. Most successful people in the world are readers. They take time to read every day. As I said, this could be a range anywhere from 15 minutes, maybe do it from 2 to 2:15 if you don't want to devote 30 minutes. But you will see grades automatically increase by your child reading an additional 15 minutes every day. This is brain work. Just like you lift weights to exercise your muscle, reading exercises your brain, and it helps increase the learning. It helps increase the memory. Very beneficial to any student. It's very, very beneficial to anybody. Even as we age, we need to read because it just engages our brain. Number 4 is speaking. When your child is in school, this occurs naturally. The teacher's calling on them for answers, and that might happen online. You may have your child seated and a teacher from online asks a question. What's missing, though, is that socialization talk with peers. Very, very difficult for teenagers right now. Very hard, very difficult. They are social beings. So they need to talk. They need to communicate. This is who they are at that age. That's how they learn about the world around them, is speaking. So I'm going to read this to you and then I'll show it to you. Speaking develops communication. In school, it's a natural occurrence. At home, learning, this must be added. Parents, listen to your children. Do not dismiss them. Do not tell them that you don't have time right now. Stop and listen to your kids. They need to speak, and you need to be a listener. If they're not willingly coming to you to talk, ask questions so that they can answer the questions. This also increases proper grammar and diction. Very, very important skill, especially And I'm going to say especially in middle school. By high school, they pretty much have it. However, these online learners are lacking this skill. Okay? All right, that was number 4. Number 5, rewards. Reward self if you're a student. For example, if you have set aside 50 minutes to study for a test or quiz, take a break for 10. If you allotted, say, 50 minutes for study time, on your schedule, put 10 minutes of a reward break, which means grab yourself a snack, go call a friend and have a chat for 10 minutes, or get on your game system and play for 10 minutes. Make sure it's for only 10. Then you can go ahead and finish up your studying or go on to something else if there's something that comes after your studying. But reward yourself. I think parents, if your child works independently and successful through the week, reward them as you choose. This is incentives and motivations that all children, especially at this age, need. It happens in the school naturally. You know, teachers will pass out homework tickets where they get a break from homework, or they get 15 extra minutes on the computer every day. So whatever that looks like for your child, whatever they enjoy doing, they should be rewarded with. This is not easy, parents, learning at home. And if you've done this for any length of time, you know that that's true. Number 6 is tests and quizzes. Begin studying or outlining as soon as you know you have a test. Do not wait. Don't put it off. If your teacher tells you on Thursday that next Thursday you have a test on social studies, you should start immediately from knowing that that test is coming. Whether it's reading your text, whether it's taking one chapter at a time, breaking it down and outlining it, you should begin as soon as possible. Do not wait. That's also, that's being lethargic, basically. And I'm hearing this from parents, even of the students that I'm tutoring right now. They are not being proactive about this. They're waiting till the last minute, and then they either get a very low grade on their test or quiz, even if they've done the classwork and they've turned in their homework and they're doing their projects correctly, getting A's and B's on all of them. Then they're bombing out on their tests and their quizzes. So their grade that should have been an A or a B is now a C or a D, or even an F. And these are smart kids. These are kids that they've got great intelligence, and this shouldn't be. So they need to be trained on how to take these tests and quizzes. That is going to be a course that I will be setting up, strategies on how to pass a test and a quiz, even if you don't know the answers for some of them. Okay, and then self-test or test content, or have your parent give you a mock test or quiz. If they've got, a lot of times, terms are very important, especially in science and social studies. So if there's definition, vocabulary, terms, that can even be something you can tackle together. Put a multiple choice quiz together down, on paper, on the computer, and then test your student, or student test yourself to make sure that you know the content that's going to be tested. That really helps. That's an old school trick from way back. Is once you've outlined your chapter, then you kind of put a little quiz together, and then you have somebody else test you. Some kids can test themselves. Number 7 is outdoor time. 15 minutes. Get some fresh air, some sunshine. Set a time in your day where you can just go out and enjoy nature. If it's just a brief walk for 15 minutes. It's also think time, daydream. Daydream. If you've got a party, or you're going to a friend's house, or you've got a baseball game coming up on the weekend, just sit and think about it. Thinking's good. It's also grounding. You're grounding yourself. You know, you can feel like in this time you're all over the place, right? You're just, thoughts can ricochet all over the place. And before you know it, nothing makes sense. You don't have any organization whatsoever. Everything's just scattered. And before you know it, you just give up. You throw your hands in the air and you say, why bother? Well, you're not grounded if that's what's happening. And being outside can help ground you. Look at the trees, look at the sky, feel the grass. If it's snowing, touch the snow, make a snowman for 15 minutes. If it's raining, splash in puddles, right? Get yourself outside, fresh air and grounding. You know, in the school day, there's outside time built in somewhere, and there's a purpose for it. It also allows for positive thoughts. Remember, so as you think, so you shall be. So take that time, because I've heard a lot of negativity coming out of the mouths of children. I can't learn like this. I can't take a test when I don't have the teacher presenting the material. I don't understand what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to fail the test because I didn't have a teacher in front of me teaching me the content. No, none of those words. Words such as, I know this is different, but I'm going to tackle it. I'm smart enough to do anything. If she can do it, I can do it. Positive thoughts. Go outside and just think positive. Positive affirmations out of your mouth. Okay? Take time to do that. So as you think, so you shall be, right? So getting grounded, getting some good fresh air, getting into nature, taking time to think positive thoughts is a sure, spent good time to help your student while at home learning. Okay. Number 8, rest. I'm reiterating this. Same wake time every morning, set an alarm, same bedtime every night. Parents, if you have teenagers and you have to go in there and check to make sure that they're not playing a game under the covers or talking, if you have to take a phone out or a game system out, then that may be what you have to do right now. Because I'm also hearing this. I'm hearing this from parents. I'm hearing it from students. Not being in that classroom has changed sleep patterns with children. There are kids that are staying up half the night. They've been in the room. They've been in the house. They haven't been outside. They haven't played. They haven't had fresh air. They aren't tired. And they're staying up late. And parents aren't enforcing the bedtimes. Sometimes parents are already at work when it's time for the child to start the first class, and they aren't checking up to see if the child's made it to class. They don't know that until the test has been failed, or they've received an F in language arts, because they haven't been in class for the past 4 days. Make sure that if your child is online, your teacher is communicating with you pretty much on a daily basis or at least a weekly basis if they're middle school and high school. Okay? If my child's not in class, I want to know about it, right? So rest is very important. That's number 8. And I've said that twice because it is something that I'm hearing over and over and over. The patterns of sleep for our children are actually resetting, and it's not good. It's not healthy for the brain. It's not healthy for the body. It's not healthy for the emotions. Rest for your children, very, very high priority. Okay. Right. I hope this helped. The last little request I have is please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment. There's going to be more content like this Like I said, I as a teacher, I'm a lifelong learner. So I am learning right now how to put together online courses. I am going to start, again, as I said earlier, with study skills for students. How to study at home without a teacher, how to study online without the help and support and resources that are in the school. So I'll be doing that class. I'm also going to do a second class on test taking, passing quizzes and tests, and the strategies that your children can use to pass the test. Again, geared mostly 6 through 12. I will say that having taught 4th and 5th grade for 12 years, it will also apply to some higher level 4th and 5th grade students as well. They can probably handle this also. Okay, like, share, and subscribe, guys. There's more coming. Hope this helps some of you. Rewind the video if you need to and jot some of this stuff down. We're going to get more high tech as I learn. Take care. Take care of your children. Take care of yourselves. It's all going to be okay, right? We're thinking positive, right? So as you think, so you shall be. Peace and love, everybody.